Welcome back, everybody. We are into the third and final game of the matchup. This is Fnatic RaidCall versus I Want Cookie. This is the $1,000 matchup. This is what we've been here for. This is what we've been watching all night long to see. And of course, the competition is brought to you by RaidCall. Voice over IP application. It kicks ass. Low latency, great quality. Go check it out. So, into bans and picks. Rengar, Nunu, Lux, all removed from Fnatic, and you can see why. Shuche's Lux is particularly strong. Over on the other side, Orianna, Katarina, and one more ban still to be removed. Are we going to see another AP middle ban like we have been seeing thus far? Are we going to see another AP middle ban being removed, targeting Peke? Or are we going to see maybe a Vayne being taken out from RaidCall? I mean, the previous game, he didn't really do very well with Vayne. Still picked up a good couple of kills, but unfortunately wasn't able to hard carry his team like he has been doing in the previous games or the previous matchups of the day. So, it is going to be Zyra. They are removing the support from N-Rated. It was Zyra that led Fnatic to a great level 1 battle in the first game of this series. And for the first time today, RaidCall may be playing a different AD carry. It appears he may be locking in Ezreal, which is definitely going to play into Fnatic's favor, because I believe Ice Fantasy has played Ezreal in every game thus far. So, you know, forcing him in the decider match to play a champion he hasn't played this evening. It's just going to throw him off just for a tiny bit. You know, you get used to Ez, you get into the groove, the vibe of playing a champion, and now you've got to change that up for the most important game of the day, because it doesn't matter what you've done before, it doesn't matter where you've gone before. This is now what matters. This is now the game that counts. So Ice Fantasy considering picking up Graves, currently sitting on him right now. Has not been locked in. Ice Fantasy and Move It. The bottom line for I Want Cookie. Who are they going to play as a support? We see Nasus in the previous game. And is it going to be another unique support this time round, or will we be seeing a slightly more standard, maybe Graves Taric combination? There's even the possibility of Lulu, of Sona, of Janna. Number of options there, and it is actually going to be Lulu, so I'm really happy to see Lulu. We've seen her once or twice today already, once I think, and I really like the combination. It works well, especially if you've got an aggressive dive type champion, somebody like Diana, who is available for selection, I should point out, somebody like Malphite, somebody like Nocturne, anybody that, you know, commits, that goes in nice and deep. So Peke and N-Rated, the next two champions to lock in. And while they are doing that, I just want to show you guys the bracket once more. If you guys head over to Fnatic.com, you can see the news, you can see the post, you can see exactly who took part. I Want Cookie made it here by defeating Eclipsia and then Moscow 5. Fnatic, on the other hand, defeated Giants and then Alternate. And they are now 1-1 in the grand final. It's the first map that Fnatic has dropped today. So is that going to put some pressure on them? Is that going to put them on the back foot? For the guys that are watching that have enjoyed a little bit of my casting, Facebook.com/quickshot, that's QU1KSH0T. I'm going to be giving away a Riot Graves skin after the stream is completed. It is my very, very, very last skin, guys. So if you've been enjoying it, go head over to the page, like the page, and you'll see exactly when I'm going to post that. The game will be over very soon. We are going to see N-Rated taking Blitzcrank once again. So he's decided that you know, the previous game they just lost the lane a little bit harder. It wasn't necessarily the champion, so they decided to go for that once more, and he is going to be comboed with Amumu, and we will see Amumu in the jungle. We've seen some great Amumu play earlier this evening as well, so I like the lock-in. I like the large AoE CC. You've got the static field from Blitzcrank that's going to be silencing everybody. You've got the Curse of the Sad Mummy, which is going to be, you know, snaring, holding everybody in place. So great amount of combination. And Jace is available, so we may be seeing a Jace top line from Soaz. And you know, it was really Jace that made it very, very popular over here in EU West. So it could turn out to be really, really cool. And I haven't seen Soaz playing Jace since the Season 2 European Regionals, so I'm excited for that one. Skarner and Cho'Gath locked in for I Want Cookie. So that's going to be either Cho in the middle or Cho up top. Either of them works. Skarner will be in the jungle, And I think they're going to leave it to this final pick. They're going to say, all right, look, Cho'Gath versus Jace, you can leave those two. It ends up becoming a bit of a farm fest. You know, Jace can't really put enough damage down onto Cho as long as he's farming well to put too much pressure on him. But if he does snowball, then it's possible. But then again, if anybody snowballs, you can kill your lane opponent. So my guess is it's going to be Cho top. And no, it may actually be Renekton, which means it's going to be AP Cho'Gath in the middle against Vladimir, probably being played by Xpeke. So all that waffling, all that chat, and I want Cookie. They're going to give Young Buck his favored champion. They're going to give him the giant crocodile, which is who he's probably most famous for. So let's wait for this to be locked in before we see if it's 100% certain or not. And yeah, I like. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I like the idea of the Skarner as well, because Skarner can go in Crystalline Exoskeleton, combo that with Wild Growth, knock everybody up, interrupt their abilities, and just drag one single target to his team. So it's a good initiation. It's a good collection of champions. While we're waiting for the last minute to count down, I do once again just pull up the social media. Quick shot on Facebook, quick shot on Twitter. If you guys have had some fun, come join me. Myself and Panky will actually be shoutcasting DreamHack at the end of the week, where we're going to be following Fnatic. And we've seen Giants earlier today. They will be taking place as well. And Curse Gaming, unfortunately, they were playing with a sub. They were playing with Panky, and Panky was very, very heavy, so they couldn't carry him through. So a couple of big names. And of course, two teams from the Bring Your Own Computer LAN will be qualifying for the $50,000 tournament. But that's only later in the week. Today, RaidCall Dominance Invitational, where teams are playing for $1,000. Winner takes all, and this is the game that will decide it. So 10 seconds left on the clock. Let's see who is going to be changing what summoners. I think for the first time we will be seeing a heal actually in the hands of the AD carries as opposed to cleanse, and that is going to be the case. So Reckles on Ezreal, flash heal. Ghost flash on Pekes Vladimir, flash ignite, and flash ignite for our support and top laner. Over on the other side, Graves, flash cleanse, flash ignite times 3. So very, very aggressive. There is no exhaust for Jace or for Ez. That's I cannot stress that enough. No exhaust for Jace or for Ezreal. But then again, there's no exhaust for Renekton either. You know, so that's a bit of a brave one. Let's have a look at Young Buck's Giant Crocky. How's he doing? 921-0 for his masteries. Runes 15, 13, 12. Nothing really exciting there that we don't know about. Soaz going to be rocking out his Jace 2190. Mastery page, physical damage, and flat defenses. Once again, nothing exciting. Cyanide, he was rocking 6% spell vamp the last time we seen him with his runes. 2109, 0219 rather. And once again, 6% spell vamp, 15% attack speed, armor, and then some defensive stats. So slightly different AP or jungler movements to what we're used to seeing, but I like it. It works, and it works well. Now we see how Amazing is doing. 0219. His rune pages, movement speed, attack speed, and flat resistances. So opting to go for that very aggressive movement speed type build, and you sort of need it with Skarner. He needs to be mobile, he needs to be moving around the map, and he really needs to be doing a lot of damage. Mobility equals damage for him. Finally, Xpeke 2190. Ability power, move speed, HP, and magic penetration. We're into the last minutes and a half of the final game of the day. So one more ad break, and when we're back, it'll be the grand final.
Tell me crystalline, and you've got the faith that I could bring paradise.
I'll forgive and forget before I'm paralyzed. Do I have to keep up the
to the sun. And I've done things in small doses, so don't think that I'm pushing you away when you're the one that I've kept closest. Hi, hi, hi.
And welcome back, everybody. We are into the loading screen where we need to decide which skins are the best. And unfortunately, a couple of skinless I Want Cookie players means that Fnatic pick this one up. But truthfully, Bloodlord Vladimir, Pulsefire Airs, Boom Boom Blitz, and the Full Metal Jace, which always reminds me of is it Samus, the Nintendo hero, Metroid. Always reminds me of Metroid. It just looks so similar. So while we wait for everybody to buy their items, let's arrange our lanes. Jace in the top, Renekton, it's going to be Lulu and Graves, Blitz and Airs. And there we go. So we got top laners Jace and Renekton, Amumu and Skarner, Vlad and Shushay, Vlad and Cho'Gath, Ezreal Graves, and of course Blitz and Lulu. I like the bottom lanes, both of whom are very aggressive and based around being in your opposition's face, built around looking for them. Oh, a nice Rupture from Shushay. So we already know what his level 1 ability is. Fnatic a little bit split this time. They've got 3 members invading up in the top lane. I wonder if they're going to wait. That's what I'd like to see, whether or not they're actually going to try set up something for a kill.
30 seconds.
Nevertheless, pretty clear that nothing really is going to happen. Pekka's going to be a bit careful. He does get caught by the Rupture, and I think he's just going to recall at some point and heal up. Maybe he'll stay in lane, be brave. Just this little dance, little dance. Pekka just juking. Oh, beautiful rocket grab! Managed to catch onto Cho, but he immediately flashes through the wall before I could even get the camera up there. Very nice play, very nice play, and great psychological play from Fnatic. That's the second time I've seen it tonight where they've done an intentional psychological play whereby Enrated, he blew his rocket grab intentionally. He threw it intentionally while they had Cho'Gath in the previous game waiting. He tried to bait out some play, and it worked. It baited the ability, but they didn't secure a kill. This time now, Enrated and so is they're jumping onto Youngbuck. He's going to try to get to safety. He does have Flash and Ignite available, and the Rocket Grab has been used as well. So a little bit early from Enrated. He needed to save that for the escape. In the bottom lane, Tears of Cyanide. Going to carry on tearing. He's just got his second ability, so going to put that into his Tantrum most likely. And once he actually decides, and then yeah, starts themselves off on a pretty good footing. Movement and Ice Fantasy, they're coming up behind Reckles. He's already put a point into Mystic Shots, and unfortunately, they gave away their position a little bit early, so they're running that way. While that's happening, Enrated is in a lot of trouble. Ignite is now down onto Enrated. Actually, that was onto Amazing. He's trying to get himself into a position. He does flash over the wall. The Rupture does not land. Now in the bottom lane, Reckles, he's put some good damage onto Movement, but he's lost 50% of his HP himself. And Enrated with a nice escape, almost giving up first blood. Both teams, you can see they are playing with the intention of getting kills early, with the intention of playing very aggressively, and that's what we like to see. Great aggressive plays. Skarner invaded, was hoping to pick up the red. He does have Smite. Unfortunately it was taken. Now Youngbuck, he manages to flash past the Banish Toss and get to safety. And again, it's just been gank attempt after gank attempt, invade after invade. Nothing has really led to a kill just yet. Youngbuck does not have his flash, but he does have his slice and dice, so they need to be a little bit careful. Ice Fantasy got caught by that rocket grab, put some damage down, and then just quick draws to safety. And Amazing pretty much just saying, look, I'm here. You guys know I'm here. And I'm really just trying to scare Reckles, make it a bit difficult for him to farm. Oh, they did manage to catch onto Lulu. If she puts some damage down and pulls tower aggro, it's not going to play in their favor. And you got to think now, imagine if Flash and Ignite was available there. Imagine if Enrated had been in the bottom lane, did not throw that Ignite down in the jungle. They could potentially have picked up that kill onto Movert's Lulu. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So we're going to stick to the middle lane now. Shushay and Peke. We'll see how Shushay's leveling up his champion. 2 points into Feral Scream. Now we're going to see if the Banish Toss lands. Young Buck is going to be in trouble. Tantrum, a very, very nice flash from Soaz. That's going to be first blood. It does go to a Mumu, which isn't necessarily as ideal as it landing in Soaz, but nevertheless, the additional gold, the bonus, and first blood down to Fnatic RaidCall. If Soaz decides to shove this lane up and deny some experience, it's going to be even more costly, because you've got to remember, not only do you give the gold advantage to the opposing team, you also lose the experience and you lose the gold. So you need to factor that into your equation. You need to factor how many creeps were lost to the tower. In this situation, Amazing is close enough to at least not let any of it go to waste, albeit as long as he lands them. But there's definitely something to keep in mind. 2.5 second silence, as well as decent damage on Feral Scream. Shay going to be trying to put himself in a position where he can silence Vlad, prevent the Sanguine Pool from happening, and then potentially secure a kill. I see a couple of guys asking about the skin code. It will be on my Facebook page, but it's only one skin. It's a first come first serve. Whoever punches the code in first manages to pick it up, and as soon as the grand final's over, I'll post that one up. You can find the link above the chat. It says connect info. Now Peck is trying to bait onto Shushay. We'll see whether or not Cyanide can get in. Actually, something that neither myself or Panky has actually mentioned just yet. Shushay, of course, the old top laner for Fnatic, but it's been many months since he was no longer part of the team. But I think this is the first time I've casted them in a game together. That's for sure. Cyanide is in trouble. He gets caught by the Rupture. Now Feral screams out. Cyanide's going to be the X-Picker rather is going to be the first to fall. He flashes forward, throws down the Sanguine Pool, but the silence was in place. It's not going to be enough, and a feast onto Shushay. That was poor decision making there. Peke, he was very, very low. You knew that Cho'Gath was going to put the silence down. He should not have gone in there. He didn't actually burn the flash as I thought he did, so that wasn't too bad. At least it's not a waste of summon a spell. But unfortunately, just not enough. He got in range of Ignite. Ignite picked up that kill, and then unfortunately Cyanide using a bandage toss that put him in range of a Shushay feast. And all of a sudden, oh, look at the damage from Soaz. Really, really good. Soaz double Dorans. How much armor pen does he have at the moment? Let's just turn camera off here. Armor pen 6 and then 10%, so just from his runes of masteries, really. Nothing over the top. And Young Buck under a bit of pressure in this top lane. One Doran's Blade behind. 2 points into Hypercharge, 3 into Shock Blast, so that's an interesting one. No ultimate yet. Both Bandage Toss and the Rocket Grab miss from Enrated and Cyanide respectively. So unfortunately that really doesn't help them out. And we can see, once again, just a little bit more pressure. Soaz he's just trying to control this lane. He's freezing it as close to him as possible. Impale is available for Skarner, so they've got to see how this is going to play. How long is Amazing going to hang around before he decides that it's not worth his while? That is the question. Soaz hasn't taken the bait. He hasn't gone overly aggressive. Here we go. Slice and dice, slice and dice. The stun does land. Impale's going to pull him back. Now Ignite is down as well. Soaz still has his hammer available. Is going to knock Amazing backwards. Is going to fall in the process. Acceleration Gate comes up. He's going to carry on chasing down in the bottom lane. Blitzcrank picks up the kill onto Graves. While Ezreal picks up the kill onto Lulu. They shove the lane down. Enrated picks up a couple of CS there. And they're immediately going to push down into Dragon. So nice turnaround there from Fnatic. They convert what's potentially going to be a top tower. Oh no, that's actually not even going to be the top tower. For a Dragon. And Jace is going for a Brutalizer. Double longswords in hand. Smite goes down. They secure the Drake. And a recall from members of Fnatic. It is an award, but there's absolutely nothing that can be done about it. And the top tower will go down with the secondary wave of creeps once that gets there. So Shushay's blue buff has been picked up. That was his blue buff. With that, the Chalice of Harmony and his Mekai Pendant and Amplifying Tome. He's really out farming XP here right now. 15 ahead already. And that's just going to snowball even harder, especially with that blue buff. Now Peck is going to be able to farm a little bit more effectively, you know, the higher level he gets and the more ability power. Ignite is down, Feast cannot be used just yet, and a very, very nice flash means that Peck actually gets out of range of the Feast. He's managed to adorn. Hemoplay goes down, Transfusion. He's just staying out of range of Shushay. Shushay wants to use the Feast on Vlad, but it's not going to be enough. The Tears will be enough. Now in the bottom lane, the Rocket Grab pulls Lulu forward. Ezreal is going to pick up the kill onto Lulu once he comes out of his Munchkin form. And they decide not to turn their attention onto Graves. Actually, they are going to decide to stick with him. Rocket Fist is available. They're going to knock him up in the air. Can Banish Toss land? That is the question. Banish Toss, Fist. And another kill goes to Cyanide. 3-1-0 on Amumu. Boots of Mobility as well as Philosopher's Stone. Dragon in the bank. Very, very nice kill in the middle lane. Shushay trying so hard to land that kill onto Peke. And unfortunately it just ended up costing him his life. It didn't quite play out the way they'd hoped. And there's a very, very big creep wave that's going to start being lost. Maybe able to pick up this bottom tower. And the game is actually very even right now. Both teams making some pretty good plays. Vision Ward for Soaz, so he's about to run into some trouble.
Red team's turret has been
Pale is available, so we'll see. He's going to try use his Acceleration Shock Blast to steal this away. Put some damage down, but does not steal the buff. And the stolen blue buff gets donated to Skarner. So a pretty even game thus far. 6-3. Fnatic making a few more plays, managing to pull a few more champions in for the kills. But with the exception, both trading towers. One dragon in favor of Fnatic, and now potentially the middle tower going down for Fnatic. I Want Cookies is in a good position to take this down. 4 members. There's no one from Fnatic that's going to reply. So this is a great counter push. Immediately going to shut this one out.
blue team's turret has been
And
destroyed.
take good control of this top half of the map by having both upper and middle tower down, and now the bottom tower as well. They're actually going to take the tower advantage and put themselves very close to the gold. You know, it's only going to be a couple of 100 gold difference.
Blue team's turret has
Rupture lands onto Reckless. Feral Scream misses because the Arcane shifts to safety. And Reckless, I believe it's Reckless. I'll ask him after the game, but it's, nevertheless I do apologize if it's wrong. Glitterlance lands. Shushay has Feast. Does not have Ignite just yet. Oh, very nice Arcane shift from Reckless, and the rest of Fnatic are now coming down. Amumu's going to get there in time. He does have Curse of the Sad Mummy available, so Movert is trying to divert him as long as he can. Shushay is now going to go down for his troubles. Try to keep both of them on trouble. Movert is going to go down. Rocket Grab pulls Cho'Gath backwards, and 2 more kills from Fnatic. I Want Cookie just overextended. They did not need to be there. They did not need to be hanging around that long, and they just gave up those kills. Renekton is extended all the way down to the secondary tower, putting some decent damage down, but he's got no attack damage just yet. He's relying on his base stats. Opted to go for a Giant's Belt instead of anything else. And you know what? Renekton does really well. You can rely on a lot of his damage. Oh, Banish Toss does land. Soaz is going to look for a chase. We'll see. There's no... Oh, there was Curse, but Cyanide decided not to use it. He had his ulti up. Amazing is shoving down this lane as best as he can. Gets almost all the CS. This is, I think, 1 there. And only 1,000 gold separates these teams. That's purely because of the dragon as well. You can actually see the gold numbers down on the bottom of your screen, guys. So you can see how the numbers match up. With all 3 outer towers down for Fnatic, it makes life difficult when you want to control that initial part of your jungle. The dragon, the entrances to your jungle, if they get warded and covered, it becomes very difficult to cover. So I need to be very careful with that. A couple of wards going down for Fnatic. They're going to have to increase that. Drake should be up relatively soon. And Shushay picks up his own blue buff. That should be enough gold to finish. And it was enough for Athenes. I wasn't 100% sure. I was trying to do the math in my head, and he does actually pick that up. So, not too shabby. Middle tower may go down. Rocket Grab just missing. And the game is just slowed down a little bit. The pace is just... You can sense that the teams don't really want to make more mistakes than they have to. Oh, Impale gets duked. Flash from Skarner. And all it cost was a Sanguine Pool. All it cost was a Sanguine Pool. And Reckless now 5 points into Mystic, 3 points into his Arcane Shift. Spent some time to free farm, trying to catch up to the farm of Graves. But when you're 3-0-3, you're not really as worried about perfect last hitting because you've got the ability to, just pick up kills and build your items from there. Jace has opted to go Berserker's Greaves. Rupture lands. Now let's see how this engagement plays out. Flash. Power Fist goes out. Bandage Toss. The Bandage Toss manages to land, but nothing else does. Now Curse of the Sad Mummy. Hemoplague is on, but the very, very nice True Shot Barrage from the background manages to secure that kill. Now Reckless, he's got the blue buff from Cho'Gath because he managed to pick that up. We'll see if he can pick up any more damage. That's the question. Impale is available for Amazing. Is Reckless going to be able to get away? He does get caught. Now Soaz is joining into the party. This is a huge amount of damage. Youngbuck is going to pick up the first kill of the team fight engagement for I1 Cookie. Fantasy is going to chase for it. Auto attack goes down. Auto attack goes down, but it's not going to be enough. Peke is going to try to deny himself. He may actually decide to recall, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange. Israel goes down. He stole the blue buff, but then immediately gives it back. And it looks like he's going to be going for... Well, I don't know. Is that going to be Last Whisper? Potentially. Pickaxe in hand. It's the question that I'll have to see. But nevertheless, Dragon number 2 of the game this time gets picked up by I1 Cookie. And this was the problem. Look at Fnatic's vision. They can only see the entrance to their red buff area. There's nothing else available for them to see. So they do not know that the dragon even went down. Soaz has been given the blue buff. That's going to be a lot of poke, and that's something that you've got to consider as well. The Acceleration Shock Blast poke, as well as the Mystic Shot poke that's going to be coming down from the Fnatic lineup. It's going to help them so much when they need to get into these tower siege moments. Especially when you consider that, with the exception of Cho'Gath's abilities, there's not really a whole lot of ranged poke. You've got Glitter Lance, you've got... No, that's it. Glitter Lance and Cho. So I1 Cookie are not going to enjoy drawn-out tower sieges. We do have a small gold lead right now. 200 GP between them. And now we're going to just see exactly how this next moment of play go. With the dragon down, and with it being warded, and with all those towers down, I1 Cookie are hesitant to advance further. They've got a slightly stronger position. They've got map control, but they don't want to afford going behind enemy lines and being caught out, being surrounded, or being jumped on from behind, unless they are 100% confident that they can win these team fights. So we will see exactly how these teams want to play. Once again, Fnatic decides they want to shove down this tower. They are going to get the middle tower, and they're going to carry on sieging. The ultimates are all up. Shock Blast goes out. They're going to put some good damage down with the Jace and an Ezreal. That is going to hurt quite a lot. Rocket Grab pulls onto Shusha. Now remember, he's AP Cho'Gath, so it's not going to be a whole lot of survivability. Cyanide has been caught. He's going to be the first one to fall in the fight with the Hemoplague pocking. There's just not enough damage. Now Sanguine Pool's been popped for Peke. He's going to get shut down in the back of this fight. Reckless needs to get in there and deal damage. Look at how low everybody is. But unfortunately, just not enough to close it out. And you got to feel maybe if Jace and Ezreal had been a little bit more committed to their battle, stayed in there, focused one target, it could have been enough. Did we even see Curse of the Sad Mummy going off? No. Amumu's ultimate did not even go off in that engagement. So, again, another position. Hemoplague caught 2, and Amumu had his ulti up. You need to be able to get those ultis out. Even if they only catch 2 or 3 members, blow them up and then carry on with the fight. And unfortunately, a very, very nice Impale closed him out. Rocket Grab, as well as Shock Blast and Mystic Shot, picks up a kill onto Skarner. Rupture misses. Reckless is going to carry on running as best as he can. A little bit of a weird acceleration gate. Now the bandage starts. There comes Curse of the Sad Mummy, immediately cleansed away from Fantasy. Another kill for Jace once again, and this is what I was talking about. When you combo those abilities together, the stun, the snare, hold them in place, and look at the damage onto Fantasy. The numbers are just so high. The rest of the team should be able to pick this tower up, and that's what they're afraid of. All of that poke, all of that range, there's very, very little that you can do.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Peke goes aggressives, interrupts the callback. And we'll see now what Reckless decides to build up. He's recalled, or he will be recalling shortly. 1900 gold in the bank. I want to know what he's going to build, because he has a pickaxe and has had that pickaxe for a little while. But nevertheless, a pretty good lead that Fnatic have built up. 2,000 gold, both inhibitor turrets, and Rated is now in a little bit of trouble. He's actually going to be super cocky and pull Youngbuck. Youngbuck actually realizing he doesn't know everybody else, he doesn't want to pick a fight. And it looks like we're going to go Phage into Infinity Edge for Ezreal. 5-1-5 for Reckless, a new AD carry for Fnatic. And he's doing very, very well, has been doing well all games, all evening long. Game number 1 was the 11-minute shutout, compliments all that feed he had with Vayne. But nevertheless, Fnatic now setting the pace. They're in the driver's seat. They've got the damage. We also see Jace, BF Sword, Brutalizer, and Phage. See what he's maxing out. 3 points into acceleration gate. So he went for Shock Blast first, then followed it up with his additional speed on the W. And Rated is going to get caught out. There comes the stun. He does blow his flash, gets past the rupture. As I say that, he actually manages to get away just by blowing his flash. So really, really nicely done. And all of this, it's just this standoff, it's just this pressure that Fnatic are in a bit of a controlling position, but they don't really want to commit to a big team fight because they can get shut down. Renekton, Cho, and Skarner are quite difficult. You can hold somebody in place with Impale, you've got a lot of crowds, AoE CC. So I think Fnatic are just playing this range poke game. They realize they're ahead, and they're just taking all the time that they need to close this match out. We haven't looked at the gold numbers in a while, so let's pull that up. There are the numbers down at the bottom of your stream. Cyanide just walking past danger. If he'd been caught by a Glitter Lance and an Impale, it could have cost him his life. But luckily he did not. Checking at Dragon. It should be up in the next minute or two. Unless it's been taken recently, but I believe it should be up shortly. And I1 Cookie, playing the waiting game. I've just put my vision over to Fnatic, and Fnatic have no idea where they are. This is vision from I1 Cookie. They've decided to give it up. There's Dragon respawning. There we go. That's the vision. Rocket Grab just about catching Graves. He manages to quick draw to safety. And this is going to be the next big engagement. Look at the damage there from that Shock Blast acceleration combo. I1 Cookie decide they don't want to pick this fight. Another Shock Blast combo comes out. Shusha is down to less than half life. With visions in place, Fnatic can see when Dragon's going to be taken, and again, they're just using the range to their advantage. They're not going to commit to a big team fight. Instead, they put pressure on this middle inhibitor. Creeps are on their way up. Shock Blast goes out, doesn't manage to connect with anybody. And they're just going to try to shove this tower down. 2,500 hit points. Will they have enough damage to get it before the rest of the team engage? 50% of the tower damage is gone. Amazing does have flash available, so we may see a flash impale. And once again, Shusha just staying so low on HP from the incredible long-range poke that Jace offers. Fnatic just back this off and they play, you know what? Range is our strength, so we're going to play to range. And that's all they keep doing. Backed off, they put 50% damage on the middle tower. They've picked up Drake, put that into their favor, and, get your items, build your farm. Talking about items, Infinity Edge is completed for Ezreal. We see a Death Cap, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, as well as a Kindle Gem for Vladimir. So cooldown reduction, some HP, and yeah, interesting to see where he's gone the cooldown boost as opposed to Sorcerer Shoes. But nevertheless, not too bad. Rocket Grab does manage to land on Skarner. Bandage just holds him in place. He's going to flash over the wall. Now Rupture does actually catch. Hemoplague is up, as well as the Tides of Blood. And now Cube, the transfusion rather, is going to get him away to safety. Finally going down one last transfusion. Reckless is now going to carry on chasing. He's trying to jump onto Lulu. Flash forward, Mystic Shot. One more auto attack is all that it's going to need. He manages the shield while the Mystic Shot closes that one out. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes down. In the background, collateral damage picks up a kill. Reckless is somewhere. He's chasing. He's going to now turn back. He's got very low life. He needs to be careful. We're going to stick with Shusha and Cyanide. Shusha eats a Shock Blast for his troubles. It ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange. Jungler and support versus AP mid and support. And Fnatic, you know, they're not that strong ahead. Ice Fantasy actually flashing for this. He's going to carry on chasing. Does have mana. A point-blank buckshot may be enough, but Reckless is just going to arcane shift over the wall. And a bit of a wasted flash, I feel. There was no slow available. He did not have his collateral. He did not have Ignite. And yeah, that was just a bit sloppy. Fnatic got aggressive. They tried to make something happen from that rocket grab. They did a lot of damage to Skarner. But he flashed over the wall, and they should have left him. They should have let him run away and then stick to Baron. Instead, you've seen Vladimir from Xpectre. He went very, very aggressive. He blew his Ghost, he blew his Flash, he used Hemoplague. He tried to pick up the kill. He tried to secure the kill damage. And truth be told, he did end up picking it up. However, it wasn't... it just wasn't really worth the trade, in my opinion. You know, they got 2 kills. They gave away 2 kills. They could have got... maybe a Baron out of it, especially with Skarner being forced back, low health, etc. But nevertheless, now we're seeing Israel working towards that Trinity Force. Zeal has been collected. Acceleration gate comes up. Amumu is looking to set something up here. If he can land a bandage toss, that is what it is. There comes the tears and the despair. I'm going to see time it. Bandage toss lands. Rockogram lands. Power Fist lands. Silence is now out. Wild Growth was the only thing that they needed there to save his life. 5 members of I Want Cookie now chasing. Trying to get in range, but just nothing really going to come of that. And Cyanide didn't even have Curse of the Sad Mummy. I don't know if they would have blown it, although there was Oracle's Elixir on Young Bucks, so it would have been a fair trade. They start poking Baron and immediately fall back because Peke is just not there. And we see 4 members of I Want Cookie chasing on to Peke now. I think he may have pulled them away because I Want Cookie have no idea. They've realized that the bait is a fake. You see a lot of vision. They pulled Lulu. Lulu's immediately going to get deleted. So Cyanide picks up the kill on the back of some damage. AoE. Now we're going to see Vladimir coming in. There comes the Hemoplague. Shock Blast is down. True Shot Barrage goes across a couple. They should turn back for the Baron. Pick that up. Rocket Grab just misses. Goes between 2 members of I Want Cookie. Lulu down. 4 members of Fnatic are now hanging around, a little unsure about what to do. They used quite a few ultimates there. Sad Mummy is about to come available for Cyanide. Now will the Rocket Grab land? This is the question. No, it does not. Instead, Enrated gets caught by a Rupture. And that little engagement now slows down to a little bit of a halt. Dragon should be up in about 2 minutes time. So that's not on the cards for a little while. Both teams playing a little cautiously. So he's getting a last little bit of farm out with his Shock Blast acceleration combo and immediately start falling back. And yeah, it's just this really slow period of play right now where Fnatic are trying to set up engagements, but they are absolutely refusing to commit to a big team fight. They're playing range, they're playing poke, and they're trying to play control. And you know, it's working for them. They're 15-8 up. They're 5,000 gold lead. They've got great vision on the map. You know, the wards are just dying now, and Oracle's in place. But they've been in a control position for a while now, and there's no need for them to give it up. If they don't want to commit to a team fight, then you know, who says they have to? So Baron once again has been initiated. And carry on getting chunked down. 5,000 HP. Skarner is very, very close though. So are they going to be able to stop him? That's the question. Who's going to get it? And Cyanide picks it up for Fnatic. Young Buck has got his ultimate ticking. He's trying to chase it away. The Hemoplague proc is going to be able to close that one out. And now with the Shirelia's Reverie, I believe that was, as well as the acceleration gate, they're going to carry on chasing down. 5 versus 3. Look at the damage. Chunking down Ice Fantasy. Cho'Gath is going to get caught out. He manages to walk past the bandage toss actually. And now diving onto the interior, the inhibitor turret. Tower goes down. Very aggressive from Reckless. Another Rocket Grab just juked past. He sidesteps it. Inhibitor down. And I think Fnatic are going to roll either bottom or top lane and pick up more towers. Just tank it up, chunk it down, and force the lanes. They've got the Baron buff. They were looking to steal the blue, but it was not there. And actually they decide not to tank it, so that's an interesting one. They're going to shove this lane up. But they've extended the gold lead now to 7,500 gold. 30 minutes in, Baron in hand, and an inhibitor down. You have to start feeling that Fnatic RaidCall are going to finish and pick up this victory. Unless I Want Cookie can string together 2 or 3 really strong team fights. Trinity Force completed. A bunch of wards picked up as well. The Emblem of Valor has now been collected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wards picked up for Blitzcrank. He's our 1-1-1-1-1 across the board. And just doing really well played. With the Baron down, with the Inhibitor down, you got to feel that there's very little that I Want Cookie can do to pull this one back, but they have played phenomenally well throughout this tournament. They knocked out Moscow 5. They did a great sequence of games in game 1 and 2, and let's see how this plays out now. If a Banish Toss lands, there might be some dead champions. Aggressive from Reckless, he's going to carry on chasing. And instead, absolutely nothing happens. And Blitz this time round, not able to get in range for that rocket grab. As I say that, Renekton gets caught. Young Bucks silence. Curse of the Sad Mummy is out. They're going to put some damage down. True Shot Barrage catches onto Ice Fantasy. There's a lot of ultimates being used, but you got to think, you know, it's worth it because they cannot defend this tower now. Tower's going to go down. There are super creeps in the middle. They pulled onto Shusha. Shusha gets stunned up. Wild Growth is down. Hemoplague is now across everybody. Sanguine Pool's worn out. Look at the damage from that. One more Transfusion closes it out. So that's 1, that's 2. Now they've turned their attention over onto Mover. Mover's down. Now Young Buck's the next target. Rocket Grab pulls him back with Static Charge. That's the second one of the engagement. Ice Fantasy is going to be the next one to fall. Shock Blast in the background. Peke manages to pick it up with a Transfusion followed by Hemoplague underneath the tower. Triple kill. Fountain dive from Peke. Super creeps are in. GG, well played. 31 minutes in. Fnatic picking up the $1,000. Fnatic closing out the game 2-1. And GG's across the board. Congratulations to Fnatic for definitely playing well. They dropped one map, and it was a hard fought map nevertheless, but I Want Cookie, I definitely say I've got to be the heartthrobs of this tournament. They knocked out Moscow 5. They put on a really good show in game number 2 against Fnatic, and unfortunately they did get stomped game number 1, but nevertheless. So there's the final game score, guys. I'm going to play some music and we'll close this one out. If you have had some fun with me, facebook.com/quickshot, QU1KSH0T, and twitter.com/quickshot. I'm going to be giving away a Riot Grave skin code in the next 5 or 10 minutes on my Facebook. Well, it'll be sooner, within the next 5 minutes. And of course, guys, this tournament has been brought